It's the morning cryptos. What is the most valuable commodity on the face of the earth? Is it Bitcoin? Is it gold? Is it silver? Is it stocks, bonds? Watch all the way to the end to find out what the most valuable commodity of the modern age is. Start the music. Whew. Wow, people, what an intense couple of days I've had. I had a gig on Friday, I had a gig on Saturday, I had a gig yesterday doing sound healing hypnosis and my drum song story programs and everything that's totally not crypto. And it's amazing. I mentioned Bitcoin to a few people and they'd sort of heard of it, so that's a good indication that we have a ways to go. They sort of heard of it. They didn't really know what it was. But imagine ripples going out into the sea of humanity, right? And you're early. I'm early. We're in the beginning. We don't know what's going to happen. That's exciting. It's thrilling. It's fabulous. And look at Bitcoin. It has rebounded quite nicely. Thank you very much, Jamie Dimon. And a lot of people got a chance to buy more at a lower price. And now, hopefully, they're hanging on and they're going to feel wealthy. And hopefully they won't put their precious Bitcoin in some dumbass Ponzi scheme. All right, so that's it for today. Thanks. No, I'm just kidding. Let's look at the 1 hour charts real quick just to see what's going on here. And the 1 hour charts. Jeez Louise. I didn't look at this at all yesterday, and it's nice to take a day off, a non-computer day. And looky. We had to move up. Oh boy, and then we had to move down, and then we had to move up, and then we had to move down. Yeah. Very interesting. Yes, my learned opinion here is that right now Bitcoin is trading at 39.41 or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. Very, very interesting. Okay. I'm sorry, it's so early today. I'm having trouble even working my eyes. Let's go to Dash. Let's dash over to Dash. Dash actually looks like one of the nicest recoveries. Is really popping back up, and it's going up. Okay, it went down, now it's going up. Come on, coffee, hit my brains. Someone gave me a cup of full test coffee yesterday. This is half decaf, half caffeinated. And man, I was shaking. I was like, Has anybody looked at the price of coffee lately? That would be an interesting commodity to watch. The Western world runs on coffee. And we're not paying much attention to it right now, are we? But there's lots of charts like this in lots of different places. There's coffee, there's sugar, there's gold and silver. Just remember, people, cryptos are new, and they're kind of the little brother of commodities, futures, stocks, bonds, and that's why it's so cool. That is why it's so cool. Let's look at the 1 hour charts, and look at that. And notice my favorite pattern happened here. We had a sideways trading range. That's my go-to fallback. Look at that. There was a sideways trading range. and it broke out. You got to just love sideways trading ranges because they really give you some time to kind of pause and get a sense of the rhythm. And the sudden moves up and the sudden moves down based on news reports are kind of hard to trade unless you're a news junkie. And I'm not. I don't listen to the news other than the headlines I see on other YouTube channels, right? So if I see a bunch of headlines about crypto's crashing, like I know it's time to watch and see what's going to happen. If I see a bunch of crypto new high YouTube headlines, I go, oh, time to sell, right? Crypto crash equals time to buy. Crypto new heights equals time to sell. Simple rule for a more long-term trading view. But again, how you do it is how you do it. This is what I'm learning. This is what I'm looking at. So, and hopefully I can share a few thoughts about life and hypnosis and the human mind. Because remember, this is crowd thinking. These are maps or charts of two groups of people, the sellers and the buyers, disagreeing, right? And at any given moment, the emotion of the market moves towards the sellers or towards the buyers. That's really what we're watching here. So hopefully that's a contribution. I actually said something intelligent. I want to go back to bed. It was quite the intense weekend. And I just put up, right now I'm uploading the program I did on Saturday, which was a retreat for survivors of cancer. And it was at a beautiful location on the Hudson River. And it really put everything in perspective for me that, some people are literally battling for their lives, and how much money you make or don't make is a lot less important than whether you have another breath to breathe, another chance to be alive, right? So I think that's healthy. I think it's healthy to keep everything in perspective and realize that this too shall pass. I said that the other day, but I think it bears repeating, to keep all of this in perspective. And it's easy to become obsessed with this, and I think it's a good obsession at the moment for me, but, who knows? Who knows when it twists and tortures the soul into money grubbing, greed, avarice, miserliness. Yeah, money has infected people over the years, and there's a lot of moral crusades against the love of money, but it's usually made by the people who have the money, so that the people who don't have the money feel better about not having the money. Do you know what I mean? The powers that be have always had the money. So this is the revolution, people. This is the real revolution, that you and I might be able to get a little of the pie here. But we have to manage it. We have to learn how to use it. We have to understand ourselves enough to surf it. There we go. Let's surf this. And Ethereum is bouncing right back up to 287-ish at the moment. And I'm curious. I think it's going to make a run for 400. That's what I think. And again, I was not able to take profits up here, people. I just held. So I still have one Ethereum, other than whatever my Genesis mining Ethereum contract has contributed to my wallet, which I haven't even looked at in 2 days. So, it will be interesting to see if there's going to be some churning going on here, whether it'll go up to 400 and then crash back down. What's the range? I have this sense that what we're seeing here is a massive sideways trading range, right? And I could be totally wrong, but I just feel like this is, see if I can make it smaller, this is a huge range. But look, it actually, even in the crashy crash of the last couple of weeks, it did not go all the way down to 152. It didn't go down to 136, 181. then 217. So if you just draw a line between those, those lows, oh, look, people, fucking little things. They never do what I want to do. Here we go. Sweet. Just a little tense today. Just a little tense. Oh, much better. Okay, so the other thing was I did a 4-day fast, which I broke last night. So I did 4 days of no food, just the cream in my coffee. That's it. I just had 2 cups of coffee every day with cream in it. And I lost 7 pounds. I felt great. I didn't feel tired. I hardly ever felt hungry. And the whole point of that is that we often need a lot less than we think we need. And because we are hypnotized by our culture to think we need food every 5 seconds, that we need to snack constantly on chips and dips and stuff like that. And that's a whole other area of study for me that you are not interested in, so I won't talk about it anymore. But the thing is, if you're not healthy, being wealthy doesn't do very much good, right? So you gotta keep an eye on your own health as well as your wealth and how you're interacting with other people. Those are the 3 big things: health, wealth, and relationships, aka love, sex, that kind of stuff, right? And they're all tied together, because if you're wealthy, it's a lot easier to get sex. If you're healthy, it's a lot easier to have sex. And if you're having sex, it's a lot easier to have more sex. Anyway, that was my non-scientific theory. All right, so Ethereum's doing pretty well. Let's just take a quick peek at the 1-hour charts. And yeah, again, moving back up. This is basically a strong market that got swatted down like a bat hit by a tennis racket, right? Or a badminton racket, right? And so it's popped back up. But it's interesting to see. Let's see if there will be any, kind of consolidations or strengthening. We have these different levels on the 1 hour. So it moves up, and then it has some consolidation, and then it moves up, a little consolidation, and you could call this a sideways trading range. Of course, I didn't notice it because I wasn't watching the markets the last 2 days. I was just kind of letting life happen. And so again, I just think we're seeing some strength here. Let's go to Litecoin, which is my personal favorite. And notice, it seems like Litecoin is up less than the others for some reason. It is still finding resistance here at this fucking 54, 55 range. Like, what's going on, Litecoin? Like, right? And that's, again, I have a sell stop up here to take some of my profits. I did about a third of my Litecoin. I'm going to take some profits up here, and then I'm going to put that in US dollar tether, and then wait for the next crash, and then pick up some other stuff cheaper. That's my strategy. But I have to be patient, and I'm not a patient man. I want it now. I want to be rich now. That is the mantra of the common man. I guess I'm common. Fool and his money are soon parted. All that kind of stuff. But this is something learned, and I have a friend who's like really, 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 really rich. I mean, she's a trust fund baby, and she's also an awesome person. And she basically said her dad, who is worth about $100 million, told her, this is what he taught her about money. He said, don't ever buy anything with debt. Don't ever, ever go into debt to buy something. Only buy things that you have the money for. Pretty sound advice if you have money, right? But most people don't have money, and it's easy to get credit cards, and essentially the whole credit card scam is exactly what the U.S. government does to run their business. It's like the entire economy is based on debt. Debt, 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 debt. If you don't have the money, no problem. Just use your credit card, right? And then they get the compounding interest at 23%, even in spite of the fact that the interest rates are 0%. And how are the interest rates 0%? You see, people, what's really about to happen is that the entire economy is about to do exactly what these cryptos did, but on a far, far greater scale. That's what I've been studying for the last, since February. I've been watching documentary after documentary, report after report, looking at the fact that our economy is in a hugely fragile, expanded bubble. And it seems to me that the only thing that's actually going to be sound and dependable is the cryptocurrencies. I think they're going to rise like crazy once the stock market starts crashing. The other thing that I'm looking at is industries and businesses like Tesla and other businesses that basically are supporting a new infrastructure. So wind power, solar power, sustainable kinds of energy, sustainable kinds of farming practices, things that actually, if everything falls apart, what do we really need? We need food, we need clean water, we need energy. And it's not going to come out of an oil tanker. Because at some point, those oil tankers are not going to have any oil to put, there's going to be no oil to put in them. Or the price of oil is going to skyrocket. And they're artificially keeping the price of oil down to keep the advance of solar and wind from blowing them out of the market, right? And again, I said this the other day about Jamie Dimon. He's like the equivalent of the CEO of Exxon or Mobil or, British Petroleum, any of these huge companies that are totally and completely focused on oil. And they've done everything they can to discourage and intimidate inventions that could threaten their power, right? That is the human dynamic. People who have power want to keep power, right? It's kind of logical if you think about it, and it's kind of the way of the world. And even though I, at heart, am an anarchist, I'm also a practical person. There's always going to be someone who's got the guns, the gold, and the power. And the cool thing is that it could be you and I who have the equivalent of gold. I mean, Bitcoin, even after its little 2-week stint of, crashing and rising and crashing and rising, still far more valuable than gold at the moment. So, interesting thing. A lot of people say, oh, it's overvalued. Well, it's not overvalued if the price keeps going up, right? Because the market is what the market is. All right. There, I got a little hypnosis of money going on there. Whew. I'm ready to go back to bed, though. And let's look at Monero. And I would think that whenever there's a government crackdown or government regulations, I would think that Monero would rise. That's just my opinion. And it looks like it's making a nice recovery here. And again, it's kind of in the same boat as Litecoin. It's not making quite as much a boost back as Bitcoin was. But oh look, on the 1 hours, we have a nice sideways trading range. Might be some time to pick up some Monero. There's still time, people. This is still, I think, a good price. But what do I know? I'm just a hypnotist. And again, if you draw yourself a line between where it was and where it is, still up, right? Still up. So anyway, watch the headlines and see if you can use the headlines to trade. That's your assignment. See what they're talking about in the media. See what the pundits and the slightly barely educated reporters, are saying, and what their headlines are. Because remember, if it bleeds, it leads. Headlines are designed to catch the fears, the fear of missing out when it's going up, and the fear, uncertainty, and doubt when it's going down. It's always a good day for the news media, and I don't care if they say that, newspapers are struggling. Yeah, newspapers are struggling, but news is still news, and people, we are addicted to bad news. We gets our attention, and the most valuable commodity today is not Bitcoin, it's not gold, it's not oil, it's not gas, it's attention. If you can grab the attention of the world, you have power. And that, my friends, is something to think about for the rest of the day. So this is Mark Shepard. This has been The Morning Cryptos in the program, the process called The Hypnosis of Money, which is a 90-day challenge for me to really learn about this, to dive deep into the rabbit hole of cryptocurrencies and to see if I can learn how to prosper myself at the same time that I'm hopefully teaching a few ideas to people who actually have open minds and who are willing to explore this whole new realm in a way that's intelligent and hopefully healthy for your wallet. And I think that's it. Let's just start the music. I got other stuff to do before I go back to bed. All right. Thanks, guys. Peace. Grooviness. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you like it. And share it with somebody who, I don't know, you might want to torture with this information. Thanks so much. I love you guys. Peace. Grooviness. Thanks for all the comments. I appreciate it. And really, start the music. Come on. Start the music now. Thanks.